listeners, welcome to another great podcast. This is Satavisa. For today's podcast, we have with us Kapil Makhija, CEO of Unicommerce. Hello Kapil, welcome to Analytics Insight. It's great to have you here.
Hi Satavisa, thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to be discussing with you and having this podcast.
Great, thank you. Now, I want to ask you, what is Unicommerce is all about?
Sure. So Unicommerce is the largest e-commerce post-purchase experience management platform. By that, I mean that right from a time a consumer like you and me places an order to buy a product on the website or any marketplace, till the time that consumer receives the physical good in his or her hands, we are controlling the entire journey. Today, we are obviously working with some of the biggest brands in the country and also have presence in India, Middle East, and Southeast Asia. In terms of enabling the post-purchase experience journey, we've got multiple solutions that allow brands to seamlessly communicate with their end consumers. And under that, we've got our inventory management, order management, and warehouse management solutions. And particularly in the last 2 years post the pandemic, we've got a lot of D2C brands, almost all the household names like Mama, Boat, and many others, who are using our platform to manage their post-purchase experience journey, including some of the house of brands companies that we are working with. We've got the largest presence in India in terms of being able to manage 7,000 plus warehouses across the country and 1,500 plus stores. And now, from a platform scale perspective, we are processing more than $5 billion of GMV. And on a daily basis, we do about 1 million plus transactions on our platform. So all in all, what we help is become a one-stop solution for any brand or e-commerce seller to manage the post-purchase experience journey. And they don't have to work with multiple vendors, because through us, they are able to do order management, inventory management, omni-channel, warehouse management, all put together in a single suite.
Well, that sounds really interesting. Now, I want to ask you that how the company is leveraging the tech trends like AI, ML, big data, and analytics.
So, given the scale that I mentioned we operate at, there is some bit of analytics, AI, and ML that goes in almost everything that we do. So, for example, we have got a AI-powered allocation engine which decides which is the nearest facility or the store which needs to be fulfilling the customer order. Then within the warehouse management solution, we've got AI already factored in, so that we know that they can do a pick path optimization. The picker can go to the nearest shelf to pick up the relevant items. We are able to do expiry management through some of that. Then specifically, we enhanced our returns management solution recently to plug in ML, so that we can actually help sellers predict the orders which have high return potential and even warn them before they process them. So there are, like I said, for every solution that we have, whether it's omni-channel, warehouse management, order management, we have some bit of AI, ML, and analytics already factored in. In fact, we are enriching our in analytics platform, some of the analytics that we already give to our brands in terms of the high selling SKUs which are depleting very fast, channels where they're getting high returns. So we are already providing that analytics by default, and we are in fact enhancing that to offer much richer insights to our brands or customers. So by the sheer nature of the solutions that we provide, I think AI, ML, and analytics is kind of built into the solution that we provide.
Well, it seems like you guys are doing a great job. Now let's talk a little about technological innovation. I am interested to know how you are using innovation to contribute in the e-commerce industry.
Sure. So we are an e-commerce first solution. We've been in the industry for 10 years trying to simplify e-commerce selling for all the brands and sellers, and have always been ahead of the curve in terms of innovation. Whether it was to launch the multi-channel solution, we were the first one to do that, or having an industry agnostic solution. So today we have brands across FMCG, pharma, fashion, footwear, personal care, and any industry that you can think of. We've got a sector agnostic solution to be able to cater to that. So we were the first one to come up with a sector agnostic warehouse management solution. Then before the pandemic started, we realized that the future will belong to direct to consumer brands or omni-channel brands, and that's when we kind of built our offering focused on D2C brands and built our omni-channel offering. And that kind of was very useful in the post-pandemic world when so many offline brands were trying to go omni-channel or trying to go direct to consumer. So I think Indian e-commerce industry over the last 10 years has also evolved. We're seeing many new models coming in. So today it's all about quick commerce, hyper local. A few years ago, it was about trying to figure out the right experience, a balance between marketplace and inventory-led model. Even before, it was about launching a full-fledged large-scale marketplace. So I think we have been at it and have evolved with the e-commerce industry as it's evolving, and have been kind of the front runners in the industry to not only cater to the new and evolving models of e-commerce, but also be prepared in advance in case there is a new innovation coming up. Because now we are at a stage where we're connected to so many brands. I think 15,000 plus brands are using our platform today. We get so many inputs, and that's how we are able to get rich insights about where the industry is headed, so that we actually are able to innovate much in advance, and so that we are better prepared when the brand needs it, when a new wave hits up, for example, a quick commerce in these times, and our solution is already ready for that. We are able to cater to the brand's requirements. And in fact, some of the brands that got associated with us over the last, particularly in the last 4 or 5 years, and have stuck with us for so long, have been the likes of Jack and Jones, Verumoda, Marico, Imami, Chumbak on the offline side, and like I said, all the leading brands, D2C brands like Mama, Boat, Beardo, Plum, Man Company. So I think that kind of has helped us be innovative, all staying connected with these brands and constantly investing in our team and the product to ensure that we are able to stay ahead of the curve.
Well, that's really amazing. Now, looking into the present scenario of e-commerce industry in India, I am interested to know how the pandemics has scaled up the e-commerce industry.
Oh, so yeah, pandemic actually has been a big accelerator for e-commerce. I think anecdotally we're seeing everything moving online. E-commerce becoming a part of core strategy for a lot of those brands who I think pre-pandemic we used to go to brands and tell them that D2C and omnichannel are going to be the future. And post-pandemic, I think 3 months into the pandemic, all those brands came back to us saying that now we realize that's going to be the future. Tell me how you can solve for it. I think a lot of our outbound efforts converted into the inbound efforts post-pandemic. And I think I was reading a study somewhere. So whatever acceleration that we saw, typically what e-commerce grew, whatever amount in the last 5 years, we saw similar growth in e-commerce in just 18 months post the pandemic. So I think that has been phenomenal, and we are seeing e-commerce becoming mainstream. In fact, we are some of the reports also peg that e-commerce will see a tenfold jump from here, and just in the Indian e-commerce. And I think that is one thing we are really excited about, that it will become a part of core strategy for a lot of brands. So some of the key trends that we saw in the post-pandemic world is one, like I said, it becoming part of the core strategy. So earlier, for many brands, e-commerce was part of modern trade because that was kind of an organized retail. But now e-commerce slash omni-channel are becoming separate functions in each organization, which is a welcome change. Second trend, as I mentioned before, we saw a lot of brands uh, gearing up to becoming direct to consumer and omni-channel. And third, we saw emergence of new sectors. So pre-pandemic, we saw e-commerce was largely driven by fashion lifestyle brands as well as electronics. But in the post-pandemic world, we saw newer sectors emerge like FMCG, pharma, personal care saw a big fillip in the post-pandemic world. So I think these were the three key trends. And additionally, I think what we also saw in the post-pandemic domain is that we saw a great adoption of e-commerce in the tier 2, tier 3 towns, which we hadn't seen as much in the pre-pandemic. And in fact, a lot of brands are now kind of solving for catering to demand much faster for tier 2, tier 3 consumers. In fact, a lot of value brands have also come up in the online space. So I think these four trends have been kind of how we've seen e-commerce in India evolve post-pandemic.
That sounds really great. And lastly, I want to ask you, where do you see the company in the next 5 years?
So as I said, as I mentioned, we've already seeing e-commerce growing significantly. And e-commerce itself is supposed to grow tenfold from here. So we see a very, very bright future for Unicommerce. Not just because of the market growing, but also as we will continue to innovate and cater to new use cases of e-commerce, we will see more and more brands coming in. Already we've seen our client acquisition rate doubling in the last 1 year compared to what we were seeing before that. And we are seeing even more aggressive growth in terms of our client acquisition going forward. Secondly, as I mentioned, as we are seeing more and more businesses going online in the tier 2, tier 3 space, and we are seeing them target tier 2, tier 3 consumers, we are also seeing a lot of sellers coming up there. So within India, we will definitely have not only for metros, but tier 2, tier 3 towns, a lot of sellers signing up, and we'll see a lot of growth from there. We are also not only bullish about the India growth, we are also looking to expand internationally. We are investing heavily. We are already present in 14 plus countries in Middle East and Southeast Asia, as well as Africa. And we will continue to expand on that and expand our geographical reach. We are already seeing many of our customers shipping to almost 80 plus countries now. And that's why we see no reason why we cannot become cater to this demand across the world. Besides the geographical expansion within India and internationally, we are also seeing new use cases and new industries coming up, as I was saying, FMCG, pharma, and many new industries like sporting goods, home decor, etc. Yet to see the growth, which we are very bullish on, that these industries will also grow. So we'll also evolve our product to be able to cater to their needs, so that we are able to cater to the growth of these. And we are also seeing the whole house of brands play. So obviously, our product is also evolving and working with all the leading house of brands to ensure that we are able to cater to their evolving use cases as well. And moreover, we'll also continue to invest in product innovation and ensure that we're able to, as we have access to now a very large client base, we will obviously innovate and maybe look at even newer products to be able to solve the pain points that e-commerce brands today face, and ensure that we continue on the mission of simplifying e-commerce selling at a very large scale, not just in India, but globally as well.
That sounds amazing. I'm sure this is definitely going to help all of our listeners too. And thank you, Kapil, for joining us today. It's great to talking to you.
Same here, Satavisa. I think I had a pleasure talking to you, and thanks for covering our journey and what we've been doing with the branch today. And definitely look forward to doing more of this as we scale up our operations.
Definitely.